After a few days pass by, as a surprise, Amina arrives at Kiliuru. Nadira is on the seventh cloud. She gives Papu to her and goes inside to pack her bag. When she came out, she got the biggest shock of her life. Amina and Papu both were missing. As Fatima and Nadira search everywhere, she goes near Chandragiri river and on the other side, she sees a taxi and a known face. Nadira is broken. She considered Amina as her own mother, but she betrayed her. Even as Muhammad came home, he fails to understand his mistake. Ego had blinded him, and he even announces that he would find a better partner for Nadira. It is so sad to know that Nadira never got to do anything she wanted. She got married without her consent, got separated too, and even her child was now taken away. In all of this, what was her fault? What Rashid and Amina did was something similar to what Muhammad did. Amina never tries to understand Nadira's side and even justifies all of this to Zainab. On the other side of the shore, Rashid breaks a little when he saw Nadira, but still he continues with the kidnapping. In this novel, apart from gender, religion and fate, the society plays a very major role in the movement of the plot. Jabbar, a friend of Muhammad, asks if Nadira got her talaq as there is a proposal for her. And when he gets to know that it is Salim, Muhammad is happy. He is overjoyed because he is a very rich man, though he is as old as Muhammad. But he fails to understand that same Salim, same man, had 8 children with his current wife who was sick. And the most disappointing thing is that his son is a little older than Nadira. But Muhammad Khan is completely blind when it comes to ego and money. So he decides to separate Rashid and Nadira. A question arises in our mind: would the loving husband give talaq? As we have understood and analyzed Muhammad, we get to understand that he lies very easily. It's like a regular habit to him. So he goes to Manipura, lies to Rashid that it is Nadira who wants the talaq and she doesn't want him as a husband anymore. Rashid questions him and demands that Nadira herself must say all of this. But Muhammad Khan frightens him by saying that he knows some goons or rowdies to force him to say the talaq 3 times. Rashid is frightened and he agrees. They go to a nearby mosque. Under the guidance of a Maulvi, the talaq takes place. Maulvi even advises them that once you break off, it's difficult to come together. But no one takes the advice. Even Rashid says something very insensitive and chauvinistic. He says, to quote from the novel, he says that anything else may be in short supply, but never women. As Muhammad Khan goes home, he lies again and again and puts all the blame on Rashid. He says that it is Rashid who wanted the talaq. Both of the parties are unable to believe if the other one really asked for a talaq, but nobody takes a step to clarify or solve the problem. Every day, Muhammad praises Salim's property and riches like anything to broach the topic of remarriage to Nadira. But she shocks everyone by speaking against him. She said that it was enough that he got her married once. She even said that if he talks about second marriage once more, she would jump in the river. As the time passes by, Nadira starts to doubt everything. On one hand, the man Salim keeps trying to impress them by sending gifts, and Nadira tries to hide herself in the room. One day, as Nadira sees Paru passing by, she stops her and asks about Kavali, and she is shocked to know about the clarification regarding talaq. Then Nadira also sends a message to Rashid through Paru that it was not Nadira who asked for a talaq. Muhammad Khan's health becomes even worse and he feels shameful about everything he did. For once, he feels guilty. So he suggests Nadira and Rashid to get remarried again. Both the sides are very happy, they are positive and they think that everything would be like before. The same essence, but the screen splits into 2. On one hand, Rashid gets to know the procedure of a remarriage. On the other hand, Muhammad Khan gets to know too and he is filled with more guilt. The condition as per the religious code is that Nadira can reunite with Rashid only if she marries another man, spends the nuptial night with him, and takes a talaq. It does not end there. To remarry Rashid, she has to wait for 3 months to ensure that she is not pregnant. Once more, Nadira's world cracks. She loses all the hopes. Every worst possible thing keeps on happening to her without her mistake. It's all because of the decisions taken by the men in her life. She suffers terribly. The Maulvi scolds Rashid that talaq should not be uttered 3 times in a single breath. It should have a gap of certain months to reconsider if they really want to separate. But Rashid doesn't listen to that and he utters talaq thrice in a single breath. As he goes home depressed, his mother tries to make him understand why such severe measures may be important for remarriage. It was so that men and women do not casually break or patch up relationships. But Rashid at this moment is not ready to listen to anything. In his mind, Rashid questions the system but does not do anything. He thinks if they must lead a happy life, Nadira should be ready to sacrifice. He tells Amina to go to Kiliuru and give courage to Nadira. Muhammad Khan's health is worse and he calls Jamila near. As Nadira and Jamila reunite, Nadira realizes that Jamila also is suffering. The gold bangles that were made with difficulty by Muhammad was given to Jamila's sister-in-law because of her in-law's demand. The plot moves in a complete circle. As the dowry money ruined Nadira's life, Jamila never got to wear the gold bangles. And as Nadira talks about the remarriage, 3 questions arise in the story. What if she gets pregnant by this man? What if he does not give talaq? And what if Rashid's opinion of Nadira changes? Muhammad Khan again speaks to Nadira about the 2 options. One is of marrying Salim, or the another that is about the one-night marriage arrangement with someone else. Here, the same rude and obstinate Muhammad Khan begs her. Like any daughter, Nadira melts. She agrees for the one-night marriage arrangement. And after some days, Amina also arrives and she tries to give her some kind of support and she says that Rashid will accept her no matter what. For this remarriage ritual, they searched for a groom and found a person called Sheikh Ali. He was a 60-year-old coconut picker. Some money was given to him so that he can buy himself some clothes. Nadira looks ready to other people, but from inside there is a sea of doubts. She even had nightmares where she tries to cross the river and either a python swallows her or she drowns. The day of Nikah arrives and with a lot of difficulty she says yes. She looks at Ali with his shiny bald head, few black teeth and grey beard, and she felt sick to the core. Fatima gives her a new sari, but Nadira rejects that. She says it was better to cover her with a kafan rather than wear this wedding attire. To clear her mind, she goes near Chandragiri river as usual and she sees that the full moon was covered with the grey clouds. She goes to the mosque and looks at the pond. In the water's reflection, she sees Rashid and Papu's face. With the final words, to quote from the novel, she says, "If Allah grants, we will meet on the judgment day," and she jumps. It rains heavily that night. The society did not help, did not intervene. So the nature did, like a punishment for torturing a pure soul like Nadira.